All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jodi Day. Welcome to the Jodi Trial. And Dave's not here yet. I hope he will be here soon. And there he is. Hey.
Oh my God, I'm busy working. I forgot everything. But it's
Oh,
Jodi Day.
Jodi Day. Let's hear. Oh,
all of a sudden, I got an alert that Nick is live with Jodi. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear the previous trial? The hairdresser on the stand for an hour and a half?
I watched part of it, and then I got busy with like clients and stuff that always interrupt me. She has dead eyes, though. That's all I noticed.
Yeah. And I mean, just I have no. The prosecution claimed the defense opened the door to this testimony with the hairdresser and all the gossip. I don't get it. How anything would be allowed as not hearsay. And double hearsay. Well, she told me her friend said, and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the actual? Oh, but okay, we are now having a break from that trial.
I didn't hear all of it. I probably should have watched a little more, but I couldn't. But yeah, I mean, so here's the thing with hearsay, and I don't know how a lot of this gets in. So hearsay is an out-of-court statement made by someone other than the witness on the stand, right? Because the witness on the stand can say, well, I said this, right? That's not hearsay because the witness is there and can be cross-examined. When you want to testify as to what some third party said, that's hearsay. Now, there's a number of exceptions. One of them is, well, a couple of them. You know, there's like a dying declaration. There's an exception for when the defendant is accused of unaliving the speaker because you don't want to encourage people to unalive others just so that you can't get their testimony in. And there's no exception for double hearsay, which is Sam, the unalived person, told Judy, this other third party that told the witness such and such. There's no excuse for that. And I can't stand it when that stuff is allowed in without objection. Although I say that without knowing the context of the case. Like sometimes I allow stuff in because I think at the end of the day it's going to be beneficial, so I won't object. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, and an hour and a half with a hairdresser.
Well, you know, those hairdressers talk a lot. They hear a lot. If you want to know what's going on, you find somebody's hairdresser, and you will get all the details. It's like the old-fashioned version of a YouTube chat.
Yeah.
You get all the details.
I just simply, I understand the concept hairdresser, and I know people talk, but for me, she was the hairdresser for 4.5 years. During that time, the defendant lost a lot of weight and started to change her style, and she found a boy toy. I mean,
I had a client, a hairdresser that was a client of mine. And the stuff people talk about, though, to hairdressers, I don't get it. It's like they're their therapist or something.
Yeah, but yeah, I and even if but it's just a hairdresser. I mean, yes, you can confide, you can say stuff, but it's not your therapist. It's not your priest. It's not. I mean, you can lie to your hairdresser just to make yourself more interesting.
I feel like a hairdresser, though, is probably twice as qualified as a therapist and half as expensive. So
maybe, but still, an hour and a half of pure gossip.
It's odd. Yeah. Bartenders make much better therapists. I see that. Oh, I can pull up chat. I forgot.
Yay!
I got to get you set up on my platform now that I've removed Salvador.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Salvador is out, and I can add you.
I don't remember if Sal still has a wrench on my channel. At least he can't remove my streams.
He pulled down the Zachariah Anderson stream. He ended it when I was doing that. And then, like the next day, he accidentally ended his own. And then while trying to scramble and get a new one set up, shared his StreamYard link in his YouTube chat.
Well, we all love Sal because it's never boring with Sal. It's never boring. It's never boring. But
he didn't mean to, but still, it's like I'm going to take the power out of his hands.
That was 1 week after.
Was it 1 week after?
Yeah, but it's Jodi Day, and the redirect. I mean, I don't think she's doing so well. Oh, lost in law.
Thank you very much for the $5 super chat.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
That's to me. I am but a humble law student. Well, you need to save every penny you have, although I appreciate it. But please accept this Christmas gift, and all the best to you and your families. Exams are finally done. So I'm going to do a Christmas stream. And part of the Christmas stream, I have a version of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas that I wrote just for you guys and YouTube. But I remember after finishing my final exams, I was so frazzled. I wrote a version for law students, and I might try to revive that one a little bit so I can give it to you, because I understand your frustration of finishing exams right before Christmas. I'm having a little anxiety thinking about it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't taken a law class in 30 years, but the union paid for my law degree, and much of it, I mean, civil contract and stuff like that, but also how to apply it in negotiations and mitigations. So not much of it, but a few of our exams was how to apply it. So then our professor tested us. Okay, here's the situation. Apply what you learned. That was amazing, because all of a sudden, I need to apply it to something. Oh crap! I'm not right and answer ABC. Oh crap! I have to actually do something. It was so much fun. It was so much. I
might do a stream where I talk about some of my law school stuff, because I had a professor I swear was making us do his work for him.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And all of a sudden, your argument is in a paper somewhere. Yeah, but thank you, Lost-in-Law. And that means that...
Okay. Apparently, Valhalla is incapable of texting me, so he's now engaging in a private conversation via YouTube chat.
Yeah. Okay. And yes, we are dual streaming. Dave's stream is pinned on top of my chat, and I hope Dave returned the favor. I hope. I'd have.
I gotta figure out how to do a call-in stream. I'm gonna ask Joe about that, because he just did one. But you can have people call in. Like a call-in radio. Yeah. So Joe Galogic did one last week, I think, and we were talking a little bit about doing the Lego stream. I wanted to ask him, and I never did, how he actually made that work. I can envision a few different ways, but I feel like all the ways I'm envisioning is making it way more complicated than it would actually need to be. So we'll figure it out, though.
Yeah, we will. But we are here for Jodi. And it's, I think this is the final day of redirect. I'm not sure. And then it might be a bit of recross, and then it's jury questions. What is 7 days of jury questions or something like that?
2 days of jury questions, over 200 questions, though. And if we got to figure out how we're going to do this, because preferably we'd want to do it on a Saturday where we can go fairly long. And we're going to do bingo questions for jury questions. So we're going to do bingo cards for jury questions. There'll be prizes. You don't have to be a member to win or anything like that. So some of our merch, at least some of MLS merch, I don't know what exactly the merch, the gifts are going to be, but like for first, second, and third place winners on bingo with jury questions. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how it will work because I have this print-on-demand service for my merch, so I have no idea how I can send.
Well, if
through
the
that.
winner is in America, then I can just order something and then send it out. And if the winner is in Europe or somewhere else, then you can.
Then I can do it because
I'll be there in January too. So
yeah,
I'll just bring it with me.
Yeah, but we are here, and again, big thank you to Vielhammer Media. Everybody needs to go and subscribe to Vielhammer Media because he fixed all the sound and everything. He's a magician when it comes to sound. He has a lot of trials on his channel. So if you're thinking about doing the same stuff we do, you have lots of trials to get started on your channel. So please give him a subscription. So maybe in the near future he can get monetized, because all of that work he has done with this, if you were hiring him to do it, you couldn't afford it. That's the level of professionalism he puts into his work.
And I would say that I've been editing a 6-hour video for like 4 hours, trying to enhance the audio quality from the Lego stream to balance it out, remove some background stuff. And it's a giant pain in the ass, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I just hope it sounds good at the end.
All right, but we are here for this. Audio remasters Jodi Arias-Trial Day 27 Redirect. Oh, this will be interesting. I wonder if they are still dressed in funeral clothes, or or if he's doing a pink flamingo suit or something. I don't know. Let's see.
Valhalla, his duckies died.
Please be seated. The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Ms. Arias, you are still under oath. Do you understand?
Yes.
Mr. Nerman, you may continue with redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Jodi.
Good morning.
Oh, conservative today as well.
Judge. Ms. Arias, last week when you spoke with counsel for the state, you were shown Exhibit 456. Showing that to you now. Do you remember seeing that?
Yes.
Journal entry? Okay.
Chung, I'm at my office.
Your recollection, was that the only journal entry you made on January 24th, 2008?
No, it was not.
Hand you what's been marked as Exhibit 511. Could you please read that over for us?
I want to see all the Jodi Arias stuff. Like there's this documentary, there's another one on Netflix. I want to we have some phone calls, jail phone calls. We have other interviews. I want to cover it all.
Yeah, we should. In a few months.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when we're finally done with this. Jung, your gift is in my treehouse. So I'm going to open it tomorrow, Wednesday.
Yeah. By the way, on Friday I'm doing my Finally Friday, and I got some stuff from Amazon and eBay. Most of it is drunk me, some of it is sober me, and some I have no idea. Nice. So join me Friday at around 5 p.m. US Eastern.
I only open stuff live on stream if people send it to me. Other than me. So if you want me to open stuff, you got to send it to me. Hopefully it's not thing.
Yeah.
And
And sooner or later, I will have a USPO box for people who send me stuff, so they can send it to that address instead of to my home, because it's a bit creepy. And I appreciate it, but it's still a bit creepy. And
I always think when I put my office address out there, I'm like, I should look around a little more when I'm at the office. Okay.
do
So
you have an attic on your office?
I do. I hear
Yeah.
weird noises up there sometimes too.
Yeah.
Hey, Lady La Sandra. But no, it's funny. So no one's here right now because it's the holidays. Everyone's out of town, and I'm the only one. I'm upstairs, and I'll hear the door open, and I'll
Okay.
hear like little
Okay.
footprints, and then
Drawing your
nothing
attention
else.
back to Exhibit 456, it appears that you place your initials and then there is a line underneath the paragraph. Is that what you would do to end a particular entry?
Usually, yes.
Okay. You say usually the Exhibit 511 I just showed you, the writings that follow on January 24th,
Is this
was that a
1.25?
separate entry?
What?
Is this 1.25?
No. Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Sorry.
Oh my
Oh.
God, it is. It sounded so slow.
Oh, and every episode, C-Swept. Is this live?
I know, she's always there. I'm just gonna pet Jodi's head a little bit.
Aw. Well, she can't pet you back because restraints.
That's the disappointing part.
Yes.
Okay. But was it a continuation of the thoughts and ideas that you were dealing with on January 24th of 2008?
Yes.
And in that regard, do the highlighted portions hold any significance as it relates to your thoughts about what you may have seen days prior?
Yes.
What, if anything, is the significance?
And you authored this on January 24th, 2008, all these entries, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 511.
Objection, lack of foundation as to the timing, and if I'm or may voir dire as to the timing of these entries.
Your Honor, we would object. May we approach?
Well, I'll give you an opportunity to follow up on that issue with regard to timing, and then you may.
Ma'am, with regard to this entry here, or exhibit number 511, there is an indication, you said that the Thursday entry of January 24th of 2008, that's the end of that entry, correct?
Yes.
There is no date for the next entry, is there?
No.
And then, however, at the very top, we have another entry.
Why is he
that
allowed to
says
voir dire
Thursday,
in the middle?
1/24/2000.
Yeah, I mean,
We went over
Every
this
time-
last time, the other day. Like, he can voir dire as far as the admissions. Did he
Yeah.
move to admit these?
yeah, I think so. But again, the first two questions is voir dire, and then he tries to examine her.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, he's given too much leeway.
Yeah.
2008, right?
Yes.
And with regard to this particular entry, that's Thursday, 1/24/2008, how much time elapsed between the first entry was made and the second entry was made?
It was probably just enough time for me to listen to that audiobook and record that excerpt from the audiobook.
So you were listening to something, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
With regard to this second entry of January 24th of 2008, is that the complete second entry? Or is there more missing, since I don't see your initials on this one?
I believe it's the complete entry.
You believe what?
It's the complete entry.
Why don't we have you take a look at it just to make sure?
Okay.
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 Yeah, I agree, Ashton, but he's doing it under the guise of voir dire for foundational purposes. But he goes a little too far each time. It's not just, did you draft this thing? Has it been modified? Is this as,
Exhibit
in the
number
same condition as it was when you drafted it?
242.002.
That's
Take
it.
a look at it.
That's all
Yeah.
you need for foundation voir dire.
And it should be done outside of the jury.
Yeah, it's okay to do it in front of the jury. That's fine. But it's very
Yes.
limited. It's just,
All right.
all it should do is bolster the evidence.
So how much time are we talking about between the first Thursday, January 24th, 2008 entry and the second Thursday, January 24th, 2008 entry?
It would have been a matter of hours, but I don't know exactly how many hours.
I don't have the objection.
Okay.
Okay, Jodi, I'm drawing your attention. Now looking
Like,
at,
whose line is it anyway? Yeah. The rules are made up in the objection.
before we
Have you ever
go
watched that
into
show?
Exhibit 511,
Yeah.
looking at Exhibit 456, the portion previously admitted in the January 24th, 2008 minute entry. It says there's been nothing noteworthy to report. You see that?
Yes,
And you were questioned last week because you had told us that on the 21st or 22nd of January 2008 is when you saw Mr. Alexander masturbating to an image of a child. Remember that?
yes, the 21st.
And before we get into the entry, you had said, you were asked several times, well, why would you say nothing's noteworthy to report? And you said that wouldn't be the type of thing I would write in my journal. Can you explain that to us now?
Well, to me, as far as noteworthy things you would want to note, and that's exactly the opposite of something I would want to note. I wouldn't want to remember that. I wouldn't want it recorded in my journal as far as record keeping goes. And also it's a highly negative event, and it was a negative experience for me, and it's not something that I wished to remember.
Okay. And now
I
before
don't
we move
agree.
past discussion of this event, one of the things you were asked about is what time you saw, what time of day it was that you saw Mr. Alexander masturbating to this image. Do you recall being asked that?
Yes.
Now, when you saw that event, you witnessed what you described for us. Did you think to yourself, I better check my watch, I might need to testify about this 5 years later?
No.
It was a startling event, was it not?
Yeah, it was very shocking.
Okay. I don't
Drawing
think
your
this
attention
area
back
gets
to-
shocked a lot.
Exhibit 511. And specifically, try to make it visible for you there. Yes, we can't get it all in. You see there that you're speaking about Travis.
Yes.
2 or 3 days later, after this event. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned that you love him. Love him.
Yes.
Is that an accurate of your feelings for him at that point in time?
Yes, it was.
You say that you're saying that he displays a massive amount of unconditional love for you,
Yes,
and you felt that way at the time?
I did.
You say in this entry, I'm almost haunted by it.
Run,
that
fellows, run.
It means the light and the dark, because that was following a few days following a really dark, couple of dark events, and he makes up for it in really amazing ways. And that part just stays with me, and it's hard I couldn't get that out of my mind or my heart, just the way, how tender he is and how much more he displays his love when he goes out of his way to make up for whatever he did.
So when you say you're haunted by it, are you saying you're haunted by what you saw on the 21st or 22nd, or are you haunted by his love? I'm a little confused.
There's a lack of foundation as to which day, the 22nd.
The alleged photos, picture Trav was looking at, would it be allowed in if the trial happened today? Probably.
Yes, but they probably wouldn't be aired the way they were.
Yeah.
Also, this trial is conducted with more prosecutorial honesty than trials, even when the person is truly guilty, than I've seen lately. So, taking that into consideration, absolutely, these pictures would be allowed in.
Yeah, but her alleging Travis doing all the naughty stuff with pictures of boys. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after the trials I've been watching this past year, I'm not surprised about anything that's allowed in anymore. Maybe it shouldn't.
No, I'm not either.
Because some of these trials, even when it's a clear-cut trial, like the Henry Dinkins trial, where the evidence was there, but the prosecution botched everything about it, and they still got a conviction out of it. So I'm not surprised about anything anymore. Well, that's not entirely true. I'm surprised at the level of garbage that is let in sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is 10 years ago, and I believe this is a more prosecutorial honest case than what is brought today. Yeah. And today with the prosecutors, they try to pull a lot of tricks and make people feel emotional about things and villainize people more so than the general court rules and decorum would permit. And so absolutely today these pictures would be brought in. I mean, yeah, I absolutely, I think so.
Yeah. And most of it would be allowed in today because the interviews and the interrogations of Jodi opens a lot of doors.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read this wrong. The pictures Travis was looking at would be allowed. Oh,
her mentioning it?
No, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about. I thought we were talking about the pictures of Travis and of Jodi. So the pictures that Travis was supposedly looking at. I mean, in theory, I would hope so, yes. But I could create an argument where she has no proof and you're disparaging a dead person and the victim in this case. Yeah. So therefore, it should not be allowed under sort of the new interpretation of probative versus prejudicial analysis for a defendant or for a victim, rather.
Because
in that case, they might not be allowed to be talked about even.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised because, but I do agree that her even mentioning it, because as you said on Saturday, I think Travis was unalived sudden.
Yep.
He had zero time erasing anything from computer, phone, camera, and
Yeah.
there's zero evidence Travis ever looked at CP. Absolute zero.
And I don't know, reading the prosecutor's book, I don't think he knew about that issue until trial, because she didn't come up with the self-defense position until trial. Like all leading up to this, it was still ninjas did it.
Yeah.
And the pictures that he was supposed to be looking at is part of her self-defense. If he had known about it ahead of time, he probably would have brought a motion in limine, which is essentially a motion to restrict somebody from presenting evidence at a trial or allow them to present specific evidence at trial. It could be both ways. Probably would have been addressed ahead of time. And I doubt the defense would have gotten there without any sort of proof that it existed. Although then you're taking away the defendant's abilities to present their case. Like, listen, I don't have to bring proof. My testimony is proof, is evidence, right? So I don't know. It could have gone the other way. It's a good exercise, though.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. More of those. Challenge us.
Yes.
Challenge Dave. He's the US-based lawyer. For in Sweden, no. That's a hard stop, no. If there aren't physical evidence to back up testimony, it would have never been allowed in.
I have so many more questions for you, but we'll keep playing.
Yeah.
She claims he hit her on the 21st. She claims something else.
Yeah. Also, Sweden has a law about defamation of dead. So that applies as well. You can, in Sweden, defame a dead.
Yeah, you can't defame the dead in the U.S., although there could be a weird cause of action that the estate could bring if you're causing it actual damages.
Yeah. Okay, but let's continue here. Good exercise. We should talk defamation law sometime, because the difference in Swedish and American, because in Sweden, not even the truth can be a defense.
You know, we missed out on the whole Johnny Depp Amber Turd case to really hammer that, but I'm sure we've got some coming up. We could talk about that.
Yeah.
Sustained.
At this time period, you say you're haunted by it. What is it?
It's more the
giant screen. I didn't know.
Conflicting desire that I had I wanted to stay with him, but I also knew that that would be a really bad idea. So it was more just like I'm haunted by the love that he expresses toward me that keeps me, well, I stayed with him out of my own free will, but it felt like it kept me hooked, even though he wasn't like forcing me to stay with him or anything. I felt like I wanted to continue being with him when he acted that way, but he wasn't always that way.
You mentioned in the next sentence, well, why don't you read the next sentence for us? It begins with but.
But it still remains that I cannot marry him. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something is just off with that boy. We've all got head problems, that's for sure, but there are.
Well, we went 2 sentences here, so let's back up.
I'm sorry.
Well, he put finger, toys,
To
and lollipops.
the first sentence, you say this is in January 4th of 2008, you've come to the conclusion that you could not marry Travis. Is that right?
Yes.
Was the subject of marriage previous to January 24th, was that something that you and Travis were discussing?
Yes, we've discussed it prior to that date.
And had he ever proposed to you?
Yes, there's a gaping hole in her defense.
Yeah, he did over the phone once.
Did you receive that proposal as being serious or just a joke?
There were times when he said it jokingly, but that one over the phone, I believed he was serious.
And did that one over the phone, did that occur before this journal entry on the 24th? If you recall.
Yes, that was the day we broke up.
Okay. Now, you said, reading on in that sentence, you can't quite put your finger on it, but something is off with that boy. That boy being Travis, right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you mean by that when you wrote that in your journal?
Well, that's kind of my indirect way of referring to his issues that were, in my mind, something I couldn't look past and accept.
Okay.
The defendant's
Looking at the
the defense attorney's voice sounds like mine. Well, now I'm concerned.
Oh, that's quite an insult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I can't hear my own voice.
Oh, sometimes when I do speeches and stuff, I do a pre-recording just so I can hear, okay, do I have the right tone, the right rhythm and stuff like that before I go into public or in a public setting. But yeah, I don't like hearing my own voice at all.
Yeah, what are you implying? I have a fat voice. I just did a little poem, and then I did a recording for Josie and the girls doing the podcast, and I listened back to it. I don't like it at all, but I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to sing for you guys on Friday, so that should be fun.
Yeah, I need to record for the podcast as well.
I know Salvador or Solomon reminded me, and I was like, "Oh crap, let me do that real quick this morning." I'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue.
last sentence again that begins with "but." There are certain things that will never sit right with. Is that me?
Yes.
And are we referring to that same incident in January?
Yes.
Things that didn't sit right with you?
Yes.
It seems like she found that book, Law of Attraction, and all of a sudden she started to write a lot of things down. I'm not entirely sure if she kept a journal throughout her life or not, but at least these are in evidence.
Both incidents.
I thought about writing a journal just so in the future people can look back and I can prove
The
to them
next
that I
sentence
actually
there,
care.
he talks, could you read that for us, beginning with "for example"?
For example, he always makes that ridiculous joke.
I don't keep a journal because I don't want to leave evidence.
Families can be forever. Why do you want to spend so much time with them now?
Okay.
And you say that you want a family man who takes family seriously. Are you referring back to the idea of reasons why you wouldn't marry Travis in those sentences? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, just
Restate your question.
What are we referencing in those two sentences?
well, directly I'm referencing a joke that he used to make, and I left out together. It should be families can be together forever. That's how the saying goes in the church. And but he would add that second part to the sentence. And he made that joke several times right before this date because I went to see my family in Wairika for Christmas. So it just, even though he joked, it kind of reminded me that he wasn't really a family
I texted
kind
us,
of guy, I
Nicholas.
didn't think. And especially after the previous few days, I worried about what, I guess it just sort of eliminated in my mind any possibility of having children with him because I would be worried, about my children.
Now you're still in the next sentence there. Could you read that? But he has told me.
But he has told me time and again that if he could marry me, it would mean he won the wife lottery.
So
The wife lottery.
when we're talking about this entire paragraph and what we saw before, the stream of consciousness seems to be the issue of marriage. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, yes.
And so this comment about
when you write for the both of us, and apparently the same goes back.
Nice. Oh, I tried to pull up mine. That's funny.
Yeah, the final thing I will leave after me: all the money is buried in.
winning the wife lottery with you, is that something Travis made once or made many times?
He told me that on several occasions.
And you found that, from what we see here, it seems like you found that to be sweet.
Everybody,
I took it as a very high.
Jingles is here, and he used part of my arm to climb up. Yeah. Hi, Jingles. Thank you. Might need a band-aid for that one. Yeah, sorry, I lied. Yeah. What? Oh no. Seriously, folks, you need to get over to my channel and give me all the thumbs up.
Oh, you don't. Nick always wins. Nick always wins. He can lose.
No.
I'm already losing. It doesn't matter. I'm losing.
No, but you got a super chat today. I mean, you're winning. Yeah.
A compliment.
And you say here that you want to be married on January 24th of 2007. Was that, for lack of a better way of putting it, was that a goal in your life?
At that time, that was a goal in my life.
There's a sentence there, says, I certainly. Did you see that? Begins with I certainly.
I'm looking for, oh yeah.
Could you read that sentence for us?
I certainly wasn't thrilled. No, I was devastated when I discovered that he wasn't being faithful to me.
In that sentence, you say faithful. What are we talking about by faithful?
Just being monogamous within our relationship.
But neither of you were.
So
thank you.
On January 24th
not in my face.
of 2007, you knew that he wasn't monogamous within your relationship, correct?
Neither were
she. Yes,
she.
because the year before is when I had discovered that.
But you kept going with the friendship, correct?
Yeah, the friendship.
And you went along with the sexual activities as well, right?
Yes.
Look how happy he is.
So this is something you had a long-standing knowledge of before June 4th of 2008, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Jingles does his Jodi Arias impression sometimes with butt in face.
Drawing your attention to what appears to be the final highlighted page. Let's read that over and tell us, what is that a reference to?
I was comparing my two previous experiences of being cheated on with my experience of being cheated on with Travis and how they were different.
Oh, poor you.
And you talk about ripping out the last few pages, but you refrain from doing that. I just want to make sure ripping out the last few pages, is that a metaphor, or are we actually talking about ripping pages out of the journal?
Kind of both. I was referring to literally doing it, but by doing that, it would kind of symbolize wanting to erase that day or that that kind of thing, whatever I'd written about, but I didn't.
That day referring to what you just wrote on the 24th.
No, more referring to the negative things I had just written about, but those are indirectly referring to those 2 days prior, the 21st and 22nd.
Okay. So rather than making notes about time and location, your goal was to try to forget what you had seen.
Objection made.
I don't think this woman is capable of telling the truth without either expanding it or outright lie.
Yeah, no, she's a habitual liar. She just lies about anything
I
and
just want to
everything.
draw your attention to Exhibit 471.
She
This
should be
was
a hairdresser.
Entry from your journal on March 2nd. Do you remember seeing that?
I didn't
Yes.
get back to writing last night. Let's see, Friday. I went over to F-Dogs, T-Dogs for a while. Who's T-Dog? To clean. Oh, Travis. T-Dogs to clean. Shortly thereafter, he went out
to go rock climbing with Mimi Hall. Okay.
Mimi Hall. Oh, that was the girl that he kind of liked.
Their third date, or 2.5, really? No, third. He said it went really well. This is not him being unfaithful. This is him moving on.
Yeah, this is him breaking up with her, feeling bad for her, hiring her as a house cleaner that he sticks it in every once in a while, and him having a dating relationship with someone else.
Yep.
Yes.
You knew what you had, lady. T-Dog.
Take the hint, lady. Move on. No? Wait.
Now showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 512 and also handing you Exhibit 471. You take a look at both of these and discern for us whether Exhibit 471 is the entirety of your journal entries from March 2nd, 2008.
Yeah, but that's actually correct. Because in her world, nobody breaks up with her. She is the one that lines up the next boyfriend and then moves on. Travis did the unthinkable to her. He broke up with her and moved on, and then she threw herself at him in an attempt to get him back, maybe so she could break up with him eventually. But that never happened. He just, oh, okay, jump on, jump off, I'm going to do other things. And she couldn't handle it.
She writes like she talks, corrections included. Yeah. This is not as dramatic as Cross. This is putting everyone to sleep. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
You need to spice it up a bit.
Yeah, but there has been interesting things during Redirect.
Well, that's true. Yeah. This part, I mean.
Yeah.
It looks like the entirety of that entry, but there's another one on the same day.
In which exhibit contains that entry in the same day?
512.
Okay. And as it relates to 512, that entry that is contained in 511 that is not in 470, is that right?
471.
471. Is that a continuation of the thoughts you were having on March 2nd of 2008?
Yes, it's along the same theme.
Okay.
But Schomburg, what do you
And
think
do
the
you-
jury is thinking?
You mentioned
1.5.
separate entries, like with the last.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Jodi is genuinely extremely boring.
Yes.
She has no personality of her own. She adopts the one she thinks will get her the new man.
You know what's interesting is she adopts the personality of the person she's conversing with.
Yeah.
So when she's being questioned by her extremely boring attorney, she's very boring. But when she's being questioned by hyperactive, elf on the shelf, she's all like tense and hyper and combative. That's interesting.
Yeah. That's actually correct.
I was gonna say maybe 1.5 with closed captioning or something.
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
Jodi is 40 Shades of You.
Entry, was there a period of time which you stopped your writing?
There might have been, if that's why I started to date it again, but not much because it was on the same day.
Okay. So you don't recall how long it was between these two journal entries?
Since it's a Sunday, it likely would have been 3 hours because usually I journal before church and after, and sometimes during.
Okay.
3 hours.
And you just told us you were dealing with some of those same issues that you were dealing with earlier in your journal on 3.2. Referencing the highlighted portion, does that illustrate the issues you were going through, not previously noted on 3.2/2008?
Yes.
Jung, Jung, we need to have a session. That's all.
Move to admit Exhibit 512.
Yeah, she adopts the style of her female lawyer with the glasses and everything, because the first couple of days she didn't have glasses, and all of a sudden she had.
No objection.
Yeah, I don't think she actually needs glasses.
I don't think so. Okay.
We talk further.
Of course.
Before we talk further about the entry on Sunday, March 2nd, 2008, do you remember what was going on that day?
More the day before that on Saturday, but yeah, Sunday.
Okay, well, what was going on that Saturday before that?
And all of a sudden she has perfect memory. So she corrects the lawyer. This was about Saturday, not Sunday. Amazing how good her memory is when it suits her.
That's the day we were going to drive to the tax seminar in Tempe, and we ended up not going because of the fight that we got into.
Now, looking at the portion of your journal entries that we didn't see in the previous exhibit 471, we see March 2nd, 2008, and now as you said earlier, that's the day you wrote that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you could be so kind as to read the first sentence of the highlighted portion.
I wish I could turn back the clock and make some different decisions.
What do you mean turning back the clock and making different decisions?
Well, if I could go back in time, I would choose differently with regard to Travis, of course. And when I start thinking along those lines, I think back further, well, maybe I would have never gone to the MGM grant, or maybe I would have never gotten involved with prepaid legal, or maybe I would have never picked up that DVD and looked at it, or, just different things going back.
Maybe I wouldn't have.
Like at any point in time, I could have made a different decision, and we'd all be in different places today.
Yeah, I mean, she made the decision to move on from a guy who bought her a house, who more or less gave her everything.
Yeah.
Because she thought Travis would be better. But then it's really hard to actually go back. And she couldn't move on because this was a completely new situation for her where she wasn't in control.
Sharon, no, we are rewatching the trial from 10 years ago. So no, we are, this is not a new trial, although we are going to be trying to get some new information with some interviews of people once we finish the trial.
Yep.
You say that you had some anxiety about moving. See that sentence there?
Yes.
On March 2nd, 2008, what was your anxiety about moving?
Well, I was a little concerned about separating from Travis, not because, well, I knew we needed space apart, but I was just worried that it wouldn't be a smooth separation. And I was concerned about sort of leaving him to his own vices, so to speak.
What do you mean by vices?
Just letting him, well, he's free to do what he wants, but I guess I was worried about, I felt at this point in time that I was kind of starting to urge him to pick up the phone and call somebody for help. But he wasn't really budging on that. He wasn't doing it. So I was worried that if I just left town that he would never do it, but I didn't want to push him, but I wanted him to do it. So, but it's his life, at the same time. So it was hard. It was a difficult decision. I knew that by leaving, I don't want to say checking up on him, but I wouldn't be able to, I don't know. I wanted him to make progress with that, in that regard, with his issues. And I wanted to make sure that he went down that path so that he wouldn't go down an even worse path, things that he didn't want to do ultimately.
Is part of what you're saying with not wanting to say it that you weren't going to be available for him to have sex with?
Objection, characterization, in not wanting to say it. She can say what she wants.
Stand disgraced.
Part of your anxiety was that you wouldn't be available for Mr. Alexander to have sex with?
Objection needed.
That involved that, yes.
You say you will need to remember to breathe deeply and flow. What do you mean there?
Well, I knew that I felt I was making the right decision by moving back, even if it was difficult, and I just needed to remember that. That's what I meant by that.
Okay. Now, Ms. Arias, I want to ask you a couple things before we move past the writings, the text messages, the journals, what have you. There were a couple things that came up in these things on your cross-examination. One of them was the fact that you used the term, you referenced Mr. Alexander as hottie biscotti, and you also used that same term referencing Ryan Burns. Could you explain perhaps your use of that term to us?
Yes, please.
When Juan said pet name, I was thinking T-Dog. That's why I answered yes. It wasn't a pet name that I gave him, but it's one I adopted that he had had prior to meeting him. So hottie biscotti is actually something that developed when I worked at Ventana Inn and Spa. I worked with a guy named Scott, and he and Daryl and I and everyone there, we were all friends. And we called him Scotty, and we also served espresso, and with the espresso were biscottis. So one day we figured out that it rhymed, so we started saying Scotty and biscotti, and it went with hottie, and it just went on and on with all these little things that rhyme with that. So hottie biscotti stuck, and it's just a name that I would throw out. I called my brothers that, I called Daryl that, I called a lot of people that. So it's not special to me, it's just a saying.
Okay. So it wasn't something you reserved for men that you had some sort of romantic interest in, is that fair to say?
Okay.
That's correct.
You also mentioned talking about Travis and this nickname, T-Dog. That was Travis's nickname?
Yes.
Okay. And if you could speak up, please.
Sorry. Yes, that was his nickname.
Okay. Was that, the way your answer, that wasn't a nickname you gave him, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You don't know if there was any particular
Straight.
reference or what that meant, if at all, if it had any meaning?
There were different ideas thrown out, but I really don't know the specific meaning behind that nickname.
But when you refer to him in that way, was it in an endearing manner?
It was, yes.
Okay. Now we also heard during your cross-examination about Travis's grandmother and how you had sent some roses to her after his death. Do you recall talking about that with Mr. Martinez?
Yes. No, they were irises.
Irises, I'm sorry. And my question to you is why you chose his grandmother to send these flowers to?
She's the only member of his family that I'd ever met. And her information, her phone number was given out to a lot of people to contact her. And I felt like by not doing anything or reaching out that would have been even worse than I felt really awful. And I felt like by not doing anything, it would have been worse than sending flowers.
Well, let me back up to my question. Did you have knowledge of how important Travis's grandmother was to him?
Yes.
And did you learn that through Travis?
Oh, that's a look of disgust.
Yes.
Because remember, at this time, Jodi knows Travis is gone. It's the funeral, and she actually sends flowers. She shows up, I think, not to the funeral, but to the reception.
Yeah.
And that's so vile. Knowing exactly what she did. Yeah, this is at 1.5 speed. And yeah, they actually sound somewhat normal.
Well, she did that when she was still blaming the ninjas.
Yeah. Well, no, this must be before she even got interviewed. So nobody even knew she did anything. This was when she contacted the cops to say, oh, anything I can say, they will still when she was never there. It must have been. Because
yeah, she wasn't the ninja part yet. Yeah, she was the I wasn't there part.
And it's so vile. And the jury knows it. All the things she did to make herself look better in the eyes of the grandmother and at the funeral, they know she did this while she tried to say, I was never there. And then ninjas did it. And now we're here. Travis was, yeah.
By the way, her sister, Skeletor, is active on Facebook. And you can see a lot of what she's got going on these days. And I think she did a sort of a memorial thing in honor of Jodi getting locked away for the rest of her life just a few months ago on the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. And should we try to reach out to her for when we are done with the trial to try to talk to her?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, she posts a lot about it, so I don't think she'd be adverse to it.
Yeah. So she can give us her input on what went on in the courtroom and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Give her my number. She's married, Salvador. She's married.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, do you want to go a few more minutes, or should we say, oh gee, we
didn't go that far. It's gonna be a long Saturday, but I kind of like ending it on his face.
Yeah. And Saturday, let's see, Saturday the 23rd. So I have time for a long one. So we can go through.
I do too, actually. So
Yeah. All right. So Saturday we will watch the rest of day 27.
Step one, step one.
Okay. But 37 minutes. So we have 3 hours of actual content. It took us an hour to get to 37 minutes.
Yeah.
Saturday will be a long one, but again, we play it in 1.5. So
yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, we weren't doing that the whole time.
Yeah. So
who wins the likes? Let's see here. So I have to refresh
I think you won the likes, and
I have 67,
and I have
59.
Oh,
look at that! And I got the super chats.
And you got the super chat. Oh,
clean.
My heart breaks. My heart breaks.
Well, we didn't get a membership at all, so we tie on that. So it's not technically a clean sweep, but I'm going to take it as a win.
Yeah. All right. I don't have a stream later today.
Did your trial end early?
No, but I'm going to Christmas dinner with a girlfriend. So I will do a longer trial stream tomorrow on the Texas versus Miss Dykes.
That's an interesting case. I have Wednesday evening, I have my news stream, and then Friday after your Friday stream or towards the end of it anyways, I'm going to do my Christmas stream. Yeah. And then I have Jodi again. Then we're back here to Jodi Day.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see. And I will open some packages on my Finally Friday stream. And we'll have some fun. And the 29th is my 1-year anniversary as a content creator on YouTube. And so I hope you all can show up and everything.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is Danny on Direct, it's her 1 year anniversary now too. She's doing a 1 year anniversary on Friday as well. I think later after you and I are done. But you guys all started at Christmas time. I wonder what you had going on.
Well, she had her channel long before that, but she's actually started with trial streams and stuff like that around the same time I did. But mine will be not on Friday, but next Friday.
Dave better be doing live stream openings this week.
Oh,
gift openings. Yes.
Oh, gift opening. Yeah.
I was like, what? I was thinking opening statements. Yeah, no, I've got a few things stacked up in the treehouse.
Yeah.
I'll be doing it either Wednesday or Friday.
Yeah. But I will be doing the Maricela Botello murder trial, Texas v. Dykes, the rest of the week, and probably even the last day after Christmas, because it's a 6 or 7 day trial, and I will try to get everything done this week, but no guarantees. But then again, I will have something to show you in between Christmas and New Year's. All right.
Do I keep the treehouse locked? Yes. It's always locked.
Yeah, and remember, guns are legal in Michigan.
It's behind barbed wire fence too.
Yeah. All right. But thank you all for showing up, even though you let Dave win today. And I'm not disappointed at all.
It's my Christmas gift.
Well, that will be Saturday, and I hope you all give all the likes and all the things to me on Saturday.
We'll see.
All right. Yeah. I think I'm going to send people. I can't find.
I haven't even set up a redirect.
Yeah.
What do we have?
I think Jeff is streaming now. But I don't think Sal is streaming until Excited Utterance, and that's a lot later.
Viva Fry. Let's see. No, Jeff is live right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sending you all over to Jeff from my...
Who else is live?
Yeah. All right.
I'm sending you guys to Brandy Churchwell. You guys don't have to sit there, but tell her when you guys jump into chat, please tell her that she needs to do a Lego stream with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do so.
Do that.
Do so.
Yeah. That. Thank you.
Okay. But everybody, thank you for showing up. I will see you tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and Saturday. Sunday we celebrate Christmas on the 24th. So Sunday, day off. So I will see you all back on Monday, and maybe me and Baker will do a stream since it's your Christmas on Monday.
You guys are weird over there. You celebrate on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, isn't it weird to do it on the eve?
Well, you know what? Actually, so my dad grew up in a very German household and Lutheran, and they always did it on Christmas Eve. But my mom, who is Italian and Catholic, celebrated it on Christmas Day. So we grew up celebrating it on Christmas Day. But my dad never did that as a child. And very German of them.
Yeah. But everybody, remember, all the thumbs ups, all the subscribe, and check again. You might be unsubscribed, so you won't be unsubscribed and everything. And I'll see you all tomorrow. All right.
Right.
Have a great day. Bye.